Good evening. Yeah, I know this is the graveyard session before the minister's address and the awards night. But I'm going to bore you for about 30 minutes or so. I also have our partner organization, Who Are We, presenting after me. But yes, I'm acutely aware of the time pressures that you have, so it's important for me to pass the message across to you in the next 20, 25 minutes if I can. It's quite a long presentation, but I'll try to be as quick and brief as possible. So the theme of today's presentation that I'm making is smart on the outside needs smart on the inside. And I run the Smart Cities vertical for SAP. I'm a part of the industry value engineering team. And I've been driving digital transformation, digital leadership in the public services for almost 25, 26 years now. At SAP, we believe that our unique value differentiator, because there are so many of technology vendors who are playing in this space, and the canvas is pretty large to accommodate all of them, is that we make future cities run simpler, run better, and run live. Now, the rhetoric is on the word run, and I would like to spend a few minutes as to why I'm focusing on the word run. Because right since the morning, one thing has become very clear, that the entire narrative around smart cities today is around build. And rightfully so, because we have to build the right infrastructure, infuse them with smart technologies to arrive at the overall goal of a smart city. But very soon, let me again reiterate, the city administrators would be faced with the daunting challenge of moving from a build to run phase. The cities are running today. Cities are getting smarter. Technology is disrupting the fabric of urban administration. And after all the infrastructure build, the administrator still has to run the city and run the city sustainably. And that is the point of inflection. And that is where SAP brings in its value differentiator. So if you just look at what's happening with the smart cities movement, is that there are, in my belief, 4 broad areas which are, you can call them outcomes or you can call them key performance indicators. They are governance transformation. I'll not spend too much amount of time. It is all about digital governance. It is all about good governance. It is about how you can govern the city better. Also at the same time, it is adoption of disruptive technologies into your urban administration framework. Like say, for example, making assets intelligent, making municipal and city assets intelligent, putting IoT devices on travel and transportation elements of a city, on sewerage elements of a city, on, let's say, smart assets that a city is procuring now. You've got the CCTV cameras, you've got the ANPR cameras, you've got the street lights, everybody's got sensors, you're collecting a lot of data. You're trying to build models by which you can understand what is the net threat perception to a city, or you want to know at any given point in time how the city is doing, both from a financial standpoint, from a service delivery standpoint, from an infrastructure uptime standpoint, and bringing in the concepts of predictive asset management. Third is that we got cities of all sizes, and we got cities of all budgets. But cities' primary responsibility is not to run IT departments. Their core competency is in urban administration. And the influx of cloud technologies today is making it possible for cities to focus on their core competencies while the back-end information and communication technology work can be done on the cloud. Somebody can take care of it, somebody can run their NOCs, the SOCs, whatever you have, and the city can focus on governance. And last but not the least, and the most important, is the changing ecosystem. The changing ecosystem will be the most highly felt change in the city, where we will see a culmination of private and public entrepreneurs as well as the public administration coming together to deliver citizen outcomes. So the opportunity for cities today is to get the fundamental systems of governance right, to adopt the right IoT technologies, not only to get data, but to know and frame laws and standard operations and procedures as to what you are going to do with the data. There's just no point capturing censored data if you don't have an outcome or if you don't have an insight and action associated with it. Third, the opportunity for cities today is to focus more on the governance aspect, on the quality of life aspect, on the economic attractiveness aspect, and move the vagaries of information and communication technology onto the cloud. And lastly, as you are reaching out to skilling, as you are reaching out to businesses within a city, as you are reaching out to startups, your ecosystems would change, and you would probably outsource a lot of the city services that you currently deliver by yourself onto an ecosystem of both public as well as private entrepreneurs. So all this will essentially lead to new business model, asset optimization, increased performance of the city assets that you have deployed, and last but not the least, is something that we have been craving for the last 25 years in this country, is operational excellence for municipal bodies or city administration. We feel that there are broadly 3 areas that form our goal of running simple, running live, and running better for cities. And they are citizen engagement, operational efficiency, and the smart city platform. And I know the fine print is there, but the fact, I'll try and surmise these 3 points in 3 simple statements. When you look at citizen engagement, you are essentially talking about a citizen experience. The experience that I, as a citizen within the city, get when I am interacting with the city administration for any service. Now, I think just the session before the panel, we had this gentleman from PricewaterhouseCoopers who talked about how about building interfaces for the people who are visually challenged or for the physically challenged. And I bet 6 out of 10 municipal infrastructure do not even have a ramp for wheelchairs to get into those infrastructures, leave alone systems for visually empowered. So the customer engagement or the citizen engagement systems that you need to be designed to be inclusive. And this is not social inclusion or any financial inclusion. I'm talking about core digital inclusion, where the digital technology that you're deploying can be consumed by everybody across all stratas of the society and across all capabilities and intellectual capabilities. And that is the software, or that is the technology that we bring to cities today, whether it is read aloud technology, whether it is biometric scanning, integrating that with citizen services, and last but not the least, integrating those citizen services with a joined up government in the back end, which has not happened today in municipal administrations or city administration. The second area is operational efficiency. And you must be thinking, what is this guy talking about operational efficiency? We've moved far behind JNNURM and JNNURM2. No. Your systems are still siloed. They don't talk to each other. And it's time that you got your systems of finance or your systems of transaction and your systems of records and your systems of engagement together. Today, it's very difficult for city administrators to get a 360-degree view of most of the KPIs that he is running because the systems don't talk to each other. There is redundancy in the data that is there. The data is not compatible across multiple systems. And lastly, with all the data that you would be generating, petabytes of data that you would be generating across all the devices that you would be deploying, all the sensors that you would be deploying, how do you get all that data in? understand how you can sweat your assets better, how you can provide better services to the citizens, and more importantly, from the point of financial sustainability, how can you come up with newer economic models using the data as an asset for the city to run the city sustainably. So this is basically the broad architecture that we have. At the very bottom of the architecture, you have the Internet of Things, or the devices, or the sensors. That essentially connects onto the smart city platform. The smart city platform, through ways of gateways and connectors, connects onto the back-end systems, or systems of record and systems of engagement as an analytical system. And then you have the enterprise management to manage all of the infrastructure on top. Now I'm going to, in the interest of time, move over these slides. But these typically are the broad governance services provided by a city. And SAP, over a period of the last 30 years, have built systems that deliver all these services that a municipal administration today provides. The smart city platform that SAP provides runs on SAP HANA, which is our in-memory platform, and the SAP Leonardo IoT platform, which gathers data from the edge, processes that data, allows you to visualize that data, see that data along with GIS and geospatial data, and then take action and integrate back onto your municipal administration system. This is the schematic as to how it all fits in. In the interest of time, I'll not get into this. Slide itself can take about 20-25 minutes. So this is the easy recap for you. We talked about citizen engagement. We talked about operational efficiency. We talked about smart city platform. These are the three areas or three pillars that we feel that a city must use to run live, run better, and run simple. Now, a few case studies. City of Buenos Aires. What happens to Buenos Aires during monsoons is very much similar to what happens to, let's say, a Gurgaon, or what happens to a city like Chennai during monsoons. There's a lot of water logging. There's loss to lives and property. Loss to lives because people could get electrocuted, people could, not spot an open manhole and get sucked in to the high drains. There are a lot of things that can happen. A lot of properties and lives, money get spent, get wasted, gets lost. We worked with the city of Buenos Aires along with our partner Deloitte, and we deployed sensors across all hydrological bodies in the city. There is a video which shows as to how the river de la Plata runs below the Buenos Aires and by the side of the Buenos Aires city. And we've kept sensors there, not only in the hydrological bodies, but also, high drains, also areas where there's a huge garbage pile up and all of that. And we get that data in. We also get data in from social media. We also get data in from incident management systems. We also get data in from command and control systems. And we read that data together, and we try to understand what needs to be done. Whether a certain sluice gate needs to be opened. If a sluice gate needs to be opened, then we need to send the message across to the guy who operates the sluice gate, and also get the message back that he has opened it. We also need to understand that if it is 5.5 millimeter of rain is happening in the next 2.5 hours, then this particular geographical area will get inundated before I can take proactive action. So I need to evacuate people. Now, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5 hours before the event happening gives me enough ample time to evacuate people and property from that particular place. In 2014, after we completed the project along with Deloitte, Buenos Aires had the biggest rainfall in the last 15 years, but they remained dry. There were no flooding in the entire city. Again, I'll skip the video. Let's see if it plays, but it'll probably give you an idea as to what we are talking about here. Okay, now we moved on to traffic management. Just give me 1 second. Can you play this video, please? Just click on that. No. Go forward and just click on this. No, it moves on to the next slide. This is our project with City of Nanjing in China. Now, SAP is not into intelligent traffic management systems. We don't build ITMS systems. What we do is, after you've installed the ITMS system, is to get all that data in and discover the patterns of your traffic to ease congestion, to understand which routes need to be opened, to understand how you decide on which particular road is going to be one way, which is going to be two-way at what point in time, but also as a measure of a revenue model for the city, look at evaluative road pricing. If a particular road is congested during peak hours, but there is an arterial road that people can take, if you tax that road using smart cards or smart tags, people are more likely to take the arterial road. One, it eases congestion, and for people who are in a hurry, you always pay a premium, right? And you pay the premium back to the city, which allows the city to pay for the technology investments that they're making. Apart from all the traffic, planning and other aspects that you would be doing, this is a great way of uncovering new business models for the city to survive. Again, infrastructure and asset management is something that I have said. Build that into your smart city design today. Because when you move from the build narrative onto the run narrative, you will need this design to work for you. Another case in point is for Trenitalia. Now, Trenitalia, apart from running all the circular railway as well as the other trains, also runs the metro railway. Metro railway is a feature amongst most of the cities as a part of the multimodal transit systems today. The work with Trenitalia was based around placing sensors on the trains to capture a lot of data. It could be about engine performance, it could be about temperature, it could be about humidity, it could be about the strength of the Wi-Fi inside the passenger car, a lot of parameters you capture. Ultimately, the aim was to arrive at a predictive asset management model which allowed Trenitalia to understand which particular part or sub-assembly of the train will fail and get it replaced in time so that it does not affect the uptime of that train, which is nothing but a rolling asset, right? Now, in the process of the entire exercise, what we found is something that is going to astonish you, is that knowing when the equipment is going to fail is actually a cost. But knowing how long the equipment will run is a value enabler. So the entire predictive model from driving, predictive asset management practices went into understanding as to how long this asset could run so that I could save on my proactive maintenance and make my asset up for more percentage hours, and thereby bringing in more revenue to the multimodal transit system company. So that is where you've deployed sensors, you've collected data, you've visualized the data, then you have put algorithms to work for you. In ending, because I also have my Hawaii partners presenting today, in ending, SAP is the core system of record and system of engagement for some of the most greenest, the most competitive, the smartest ones which have best urban resilience, and cities which are the most livable. They have one thing in common. They use SAP as their core system of record and system of engagement. So that's it from my side. I now ask my colleague from Huawei to come up and make that presentation.